inside, bang sideways at the line. Photo finish in the Advent Health 400 as they crash behind them.
Hey everyone, welcome to NASCAR Inside the Race. I'm your host, Steve Letarte, and it's this week. It's Kansas week, and everyone loves Kansas. Drivers have said it is the perfect racetrack for the next-gen car. It proved itself a year ago where we saw the closest finish in NASCAR history in a last-lap battle between Kyle Larson and Chris Buescher, when it ended up being Kyle Larson by basically the width of an iPhone. All right, we promised we'd have a guest, and here he is, Chris Buescher, driver at RFK. Chris, appreciate you joining us. I like your backdrop, man. Pretty fancy. Is that at the house or is that at the shop with the good backdrop here?
Oh yeah. This is RFK Racing. Yeah,
I feel
this
it.
is. I'm not this talented to set up anything that would look remotely decent. So we're actually lucky this isn't on my phone right now. So made a point to come to the shop so that it looked a little bit better.
Well, I appreciate it. And I also want to invite you in. I'm trying to scratch my head, but I think you're the first official driver in NASCAR Inside the Race. So you win the award as the first one joining us live. All right. So I like this.
It's starting with a win. I like that.
Hey, man, I'll tell you, that's how it is. So Kansas this week, we got to relive it. I know you probably don't want to live it, or maybe you do. It was a great run. It was a second-place run. It was a great car a year ago. Closest finish in NASCAR history. Let's relive this last lap, right? So you've had a great day. You're leading. Larson's kind of coming. You've thought about it a million times, 1 and 2. Take me through what you're thinking or maybe what you've digested since.
Yeah, it's obviously a lot of thought went into that one the week after. You know what? I think that if I had to do it all over again, we'd have run a lot higher in 1 and 2 ultimately and kept the momentum up there. I think that would have been the way to go. We had been really good running the bottom at Kansas, better than most, and on that last run at the end, I thought we'd be able to keep momentum up, but ultimately wasn't the case there. So, yeah, definitely have things we do different. Yeah.
There's no sim for it, right? I tell people this all the time. I joke, but you can go to the sim and run laps, but you can't sim restarts, and there's no sim for that moment, right? You get one shot. I hate seeing it in slow motion because it's fast forward. You know it's coming. You know what I mean? It's so close. Talk about the bang coming to the line there, though. I know it wasn't on purpose, but do you think, was there something off 4 that changed the momentum, or do you think he just had the top and had the momentum?
I think we came off 4 there and had his quarter panel. I think we were going to be able to switch the momentum around, and then when we got door to door there, that big hit turned us really sideways and just killed our momentum there. So, as much as I like to think it was going to be okay, that the first one didn't help, but the second one right here, this is where it took all of our speed away, where it felt like we should have had that momentum come to the line there. So, you know what? It was a good race. It's a little bit easier to joke about now, and certainly wasn't in the moment, but we're basically just have a trophy for being the closest loser ever in NASCAR. So it's not a good trophy to put up on the shelf.
No, but in my racing career, I always told ourselves, if you're in the picture long enough, eventually be at the front of the picture. How about the slow-mo? How many times have you seen this picture right here? We relived the last lap. This is what 1/1000s look like. So that's full speed, 4 cars basically in a blink. And then we got the zoomed-in look, and it is, I want to say a credit card width is what I'm going to give you. I mean, it's close between you, you and my man Larson, the eventual winner. I want to talk Kansas, though. I got some quotes here. This was after last year's spring race. I think we could start with either. I have a Denny Hamlin and a Larson quote. Maybe start with the winner, Larson. I want to get your perspective on what he has to say about Kansas, because while that was the closest finish, we have seen battle after battle after battle, and actually I think Kyle Larson's in most of them. But he thinks from my perspective, this is Kyle Larson. It's got grip, but it's got progressive banking, so you've kind of moved your angles around and stuff this way. This car, you can get good drafts and all that. Then he says, I think this is very interesting, the leader is typically at a disadvantage. I thought that was an interesting take. He goes on to say, I feel like on these 1.5 miles, because it seems as though you abuse your right to retire more, so hard to get away. You draft, plus you're abusing tires more, so it just keeps the field bunched up. A lot of stuff in there. He talks about, the progressive banking, the right rear tire wear, and the advantage of the draft. Is that the mixture? Is that what goes in the soup that makes Kansas so good? Because I agree with Denny Hamlin. We have one from Denny Hamlin who says that the racing's fantastic. He said that this track was basically built. So the quote goes, "I felt the racing was fantastic." This is post-spring race a year ago. "This racetrack is just built for this car. I mean, it's one that you can move around and certainly make some moves when you need to. It's just a perfect place for the next-gen car," end quote, Denny Hamlin. I don't think I disagree one bit. I mean, but why? What's the magic soup? If we're going to take the ingredients from Kansas and take them somewhere else, what makes this so captivating time and time again?
You know what? It has just created fantastic racing. It is my favorite mile and a half that we go to, so I am in agreement with both of those quotes there. Atlanta probably had the top prize for me pre-reconfigure, but since then and Kansas was always a close second, and for me it's my favorite mile and a half that we go to. I think that it's got some roughness to it without being obnoxious and pinballing your head around in between the headrest. It's got options. Ultimately, it's got options, and from behind the steering wheel, that's what you want. If you have a car that isn't great on the bottom, but you can move up and find something, that's great, right? That's that you can change your day without having to wait 50 laps to come in and pit and throw a wrench in the rear glass or throw air pressure to it, whatever it may be. But typically you're not adjusting anything major throughout races. So when you have lines that move around like that and change, that's a huge adjustment that you can make lap after lap. So it almost becomes more like short track racing in that sense, that you just feel like from behind the wheel you can make a bigger difference one lap to the next.
Well, 11 races in, 5 top 10s. More importantly, when I look at your quick stats, right, you're starting inside the top 20, all but Coda and Bristol. That starts the weekend off great every time when you just start in the front half of the field. Doesn't always have to be the top 5 is what I tell guys. Front half of the field takes so much pressure off. And your finishes, I see a lot of consistency, right? A couple little issues at Atlanta and Talladega. Those are speedway races in general. All the rest of them, to your point, you're kind of up there running well. Team 17, driver for Roush, Fenway, Keselowski, Chris Buescher, the man who wants to be on the other side of the picture at Kansas when we go back, the closest finish ever. He was the guy on the inside. It was impressive. But, man, look, 6 different winners, 6 different races at Kansas on the next-gen car. Maybe this is your week. Make it 7.
That is what we plan to do. One way or another, we're going to make this happen this time.
Huge thanks to my buddy Chris Buescher from joining us from over there at RFK, driver of the 17, and reliving what I'm sure is a painful day. I know it was second, but the closest finish. You never want to be on the downside of the closest finish. Forward to this weekend at Kansas. It's going to be an exciting weekend for sure. Remember, the NASCAR news story is more than just the weekend. Tune into Netflix. Full Speed is out. The new season is here. You can relive last season's playoffs with last season's champion, Joey Logano, who happens to be last week's winner. That's available on Netflix. And guys, thanks for watching and listening. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to leave a rating and review. It helps us build the show, grow the show for more viewers to check it out. This has been another NASCAR Inside the Race. We'll see you Sunday night after the checkered flag from Kansas.